When you absolutely have to get over hill and dale, maybe consider the Chevy Colorado ZR2 Bison. I'm Tom Voelk for the Seattle International Auto Show, and this truck is a monster. It's not like this doesn't have competition. Ford has the Ranger Raptor, Jeep the Gladiator Rubicon X, Toyota Tacoma Trailhunter is new. Chevy's mid-sized extreme machine is Colorado ZR2 Bison. It's a lot of trucks, starting with the Goodyear Wrangler tires. They're 35 inches on 17-inch AEV beadlock-capable wheels. There's boron steel rocker protection and skid plates all over the underbody. Pricing for Colorado ZR2 starts at $48,400. The Bison package adds $11,700. This one is fully kitted out and goes for just over 65 grand, but it includes everything you'd need to do just about anything off-road, except for maybe the winch. Bison's enhancements don't need to be bought and installed after the fact, and it can all be financed as a package. And these DSSV Multimatic spool valve dampers with hydraulic bump stops are a magical setup. Chevy claims the AEV bumpers offer best-in-class approach angle, departure angle, and breakover angle, and there's best-in-class ground clearance of 12.2 inches. That's great for off-roading, but getting in and out every day on a regular basis, it's quite a hike getting into the cab. You might want to practice that maneuver if you want to look suave and debonair. Unlike some welcome animation, this is high definition and smooth without any jerkiness. All Colorados move with a turbocharged 2.7-liter four-cylinder. ZR2s get the high-output TurboMax version standard for 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque to move 5,265 pounds of truck. Gear shifts are done with an 8-speed automatic. Love the Prindle shifter, though no steering wheel paddles for manual control. Four-wheel drive is standard, with a 2-speed transfer case, an electronically selected rear differential locker, a front locker too. At this level, there are additional drive modes that should help with any terrain that needs to be covered. ZR2 Bison competed at Mudfest, the Northwest Automotive Press Association's SUV and Pickup of the Year competition. It won the pickup division, competing against Ranger Raptor, the new Taco, and Ram 1500 Rebel. Cory Taulbert, the engineering manager for the Colorado, was on hand.
Launch control is going to maximize power output, minimize wheel spin. So left foot brake and go deep into the pedal, and then that, and you're going to see a telltale flash. When you let go of the brake, it'll launch.
I love launch control. Yeah. This is a deep truck.
Train mode is one pedal driving. It's a feature that we developed on this truck at the Rubicon Trail at Moab. And then we offer varying levels of braking intervention with one pedal drive. I want to show you the maximum. So shift down into low. And in low 1, it's the most aggressive braking. So if you take your foot off the brake now, the truck won't go anywhere. But as you build into the throttle, you'll hear engine torque build up, and then the brakes begin to release. But it's a very controlled, modulated release, and allows you to have this really refined control over the truck. So go ahead and get into the throttle some. So let the truck roll out. But then start to let off the throttle, and you feel the brakes come in. Yeah. And even if you take your foot off the pedal, brakes fully clamp down.
Yeah.
So even on this descent, once we crest, if you take your foot off the throttle pedal, the truck will stop and hold itself. Front rear locking differentials.
Okay.
For this surface, I don't think we'll need them. I'm starting to get a little rutted, but let's try climbing it, and if we get any wheel slip, we'll lock the rear axle.
All right. Oh, that was no problem.
Yeah.
Bison was tested on the Rubicon Trail. Mudfest's course is not that brutal, but it's tough enough to shed light on ability. ZR2 Bison is very capable, but most of its miles will be on pavement. Acceleration? ZR2 hits 60 miles an hour in about 7 seconds. It's quieter than expected for an off-road ready machine, mostly wind noise. This is the shape of a shoebox after all. When it comes to driving dynamics, this is no Honda Ridgeline, but considering the off-road chops, this is remarkably docile on-road. Not a lot of head bob. I'm surprised that there isn't more road noise off of the tires. It's quiet relatively and comfortable, no micro corrections. It's really impressive. That said, Colorado LT or ZR1 are more agile on blacktop, being lower to the ground with thinner tire sidewalls, plus easier to get into. Those two tow up to 7,700 pounds. Bison, 5,500. Visibility forward and to the sides is pretty good with the Bison, especially since you're raised up high, but rearward, that tire is blocking the view. This would be a great use for one of those camera-based digital rear view mirrors. This is a high-performance truck. Do not expect Ford Maverick hybrid fuel economy. The EPA rates the city mileage at 16 miles per gallon, highway 16 miles per gallon, average 16 miles per gallon. It's 16 miles per gallon all the way around. At least it takes regular grade fuel. Mid-sized trucks go where full-sized models can't. Bigger isn't always better. Time for a quick detour onto my favorite Forest Service road to check out the suspension at speed. I'm in Baja mode, which lets drivers slide the tail out more. The Bison suspension setup is supremely comfortable and controlled. I'm doing 45, 55 miles an hour on this road, and it's no problem at all. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat this setup. The front suspension is independent coilover shock. Rear is solid axle with semi-elliptic two-stage multi-leaf springs. The DSSV Multimatic dampers must be filled with clouds or angel hair. Everything in the cabin is smooth and controlled. Trail Boss was good on this road. Bison is in another league. The interior is similar to, but more subtle than, brother GMC Canyon AT4X. Materials directly in eyeshot look good. This hidden space is useful for gloves and such. Love the phone slot, though. Most times it'll be charging on the keypad. The usual storage spaces are here too. Knees will be happy, this isn't hard plastic. Configurable gauge cluster? Check, with a very readable screen and lots of information. Off-road performance gauges too, plus more cameras than a reality show production. There's always a spotter along for the expedition. The driver's seat gets power and memory, the passenger's is manual, both are heated and vented. The wheel is toasty too, and unlike the last Trail Boss I drove, it telescopes. Headlight controls pinned on the touchscreen are livable since most owners will use auto mode. All four windows can be lowered at once with this, but it doesn't work in reverse. GM doesn't get its due when it comes to user interfaces. This one with a right-sized 11.3-inch screen is crisp to look at, snappy to touch, and easy to navigate. Google voice commands are quite good. Hey, are there any cupcake places nearby?
All right, there's trophy cupcakes.
But require a subscription fee for full functionality. Hey, real many cupcakes. There are the right amount of hard buttons. And GM is still offering Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in the Colorado, at least for now. None of the midsize pickup trucks have loads of space in the back seat. There's just enough room for me here to be comfortable. I'm 5'9", headroom about that much. Knee, leg, and foot room are fine. Getting out, I wish I had one of those emergency airplane slides. It's quite a drop. Big water bottle stash here, pockets on both seat backs, plenty of power, USB ports, and a 120-volt outlet. 4 cup holders to fill, if using the armrest. 3 thinner adults will be okay for short trips. 2 will be a lot happier. The seat backs don't fold down, but the cushions tilt up in case you want to lock stuff in the cab. It splits, so a passenger can still sit back here, and small things like tools can be stowed. Because Bison is raised up so high, it's a little bit harder to work out of the side of the bed. You really have to reach in to grab your tool bags and such. Like Ranger, Colorado is only sold as a crew cab with a 5-foot bed. Tacoma offers choices depending on trim level. Colorado has tricks in the tailgate. This cavity is essentially locked once the tailgate is up. Forget your tape measure? Oh, I know, I never do. The tailgate's second level helps when carrying sheets of plywood. They rest on the fender walls, not between them like Ranger. And this, it's too big to mount underneath like the standard ZR2 does. I take advantage of pickups when I have them, and my dump run was hampered by Mr. Goodyear, for those planning on using the bed a lot. Max cargo is reduced to 1,050 pounds with Bison. Pretty sure I exceeded that by at least 400 loading up rock for my yard project. Trail Boss and ZR71 handle close to 1,600 pounds. So yes, everyday functionality drops because of the focused off-road mission. It really is as capable as a Bison, an animal you don't want to mess with. On pavement, it's still manageable. Like any performance vehicle, there are some compromises. Pickup buyers tend to buy for the activities that they want to do. The Chevy Colorado ZR2 Bison is an extreme overlanding machine. Check it out at your local Chevrolet showroom. For the Seattle International Auto Show, I'm Tom Voelk.